Hey friends, hope you're doing well. Welcome to week 6. Again, we're adjusted a little bit here, right? We had that little gap week. So we're now essentially what we're going to do in week 5. We're looking at chapters 1 and 2 in the R for Data Science book. So we're switched over now. Now we really get to have a lot of fun with data. Now that we've done kind of this blitz of, hey, let's look at all the things we can do in R, and by all, it's not even really all the things we can do in R, but here's a bunch of R things we can do. Here's a bunch of R syntax. Here's how we work with things specifically. Here's how we work with these different structures, the ways of storing data. It's going to help this make a lot more sense here. So hopefully things are going well. You had a chance to get started on your project. I think Roulette was probably going to be the easiest option for people. Anyone who was reaching out to me, we're chatting about that. I think that's probably your best bet. But if you want to try something else, go for it. We're just trying to have a little bit of fun here and exercise some of those things that we've seen in the first book. So in the R for Data Science book, now we're going to look at, instead of the qplot, we're going to use ggplot 2, which does way more things for us. So I like starting with the other one because it's a whole lot simpler. ggplot does a gazillion things, and which is super cool. So like any way you can imagine visualizing data, we can probably do it with ggplot. This thing is crazy. So we're going to look at a bunch of different options here in chapter 1, and then chapter 2, the workflow basics, is not super interesting because we did the whole first book. So this is like, hey, here's how you code things in R. Here's how we name things. Here's how you call functions, and here's a couple exercises. So chapter 2 is not super interesting. But it's here, I make sure that, we've covered it so that it should be a quick read, right? That way we know that if he references it later in the text here, that we can find it again. So most of everything is coming from this chapter 1 here. So when we're using ggplot, and we're also going to use the tidyverse. So we need to make sure that we've imported our library for tidyverse. Hopefully you did that already. So if not, you can install your package, right, for packages for tidyverse. If you haven't yet, so install the package. Oh, goodness. It's already loaded. Yeah, that's fine. Sure, we'll just restart here. No worries. All right, and then I can do the library. Oh, goodness. Yep, library for tidyverse. Tidyverse, and I can get that loaded here. Nope, library. My goodness, it'd be helpful if I could type these things right here. Tidyverse. Right, and then in the text here, now he also uses a package for Palmer penguins. So we have to go install that here. So before we can go use the library, right, we want to install package, install packages. We want the Palmer penguins. I just want that last part of it here. This is the joys of copy pasting. All right, so Palmer penguins, we want to install that package. Great, we got that one installed, and then we can use the library for Palmer penguins. Palmer penguins. We can get that one loaded. Then we should be able to see all the cool Palmer penguin things that he had here, right? We can go kind of explore some of the data that he's going to be using here in the chapter. So make sure we got all that, and make sure we do our GG themes, right? So I'm going to install package, GG themes. Right, get that one a quick download, and then just add it to the library here. Then we're good to go, right? So if you haven't done those yet, you want to go do them. So installing them at the console, and then when we're using them, right, usually we want to keep our scripts going here. So I've got a new Fun with ggplot package here, so I'm just going to add a new R script file to it. And in these ones now, I can do all my libraries, right? So I want to add the library for tidyverse. I want to add the library for, that was the Palmer penguins. Where did that one go here? Palmer penguins. And I want to do my library for the GG themes as well. Oh, in quotes here. GG themes. Okay. So now we've got that. Now I should be able to start doing my, and the GG plots, right? So we should be able to go start plotting some of that data here. So again, if you just kind of walk through some of the examples here, like, can we start with a plot here? And again, this first plot is really boring and blank here, but that's okay. So if we want to go run our code, we'll get a blank plot, right? That's okay, and this will be the starting off point here. So if we can get this, we're in pretty good shape. We got all the packages, no errors here for us, right? So if you want to play with things in the console, fine. Usually I just would shrink the console out and just ignore that one, right? I would do everything in the script file here, because that way I've got it saved in case I need it later, and we can come back to it here. So in ggplot, right, making some basic plots feels like a lot more than qplot needed, right? So, but that's okay. we're saying, hey, what data are we working with? We can just give it the data set right away. And then we set up these mappings. So for the mappings, right, and we give these aesthetics. I don't know why it's AES, but sure. We say, okay, here's the X, here's the Y. And then what do we want to graph with it? Well, I want the geometric points here, geom points. So this will get us the basic graph here. We just kind of work our way through as we go with these, which are a lot of fun. So let's make sure we got all of our, should have the libraries already loaded. Now I can get my basic plot out here and just keep on working with it. Right? So that was the idea with this one. So there's lots of fun things we can do with ggplot. So what we're going to do for, oh, I'm in the wrong week here. Our lab exercise. So this video too, this guy, the programming video is actually pretty good. He does a nice job here. You can watch it here or pop it out in YouTube, whatever you like better here. Sometimes you get YouTube controls in here. Our programming 101 does a nice job. We've got lots of videos out there. And this one actually comes from an entire playlist as well. So
welcome back to R Programming 101. We're going to be talking about
for other details, which is a lot of fun. Where did this playlist even go? I thought I had it before. I must not have given you the right link. I'll find the link for the playlist. If you want to look at the other ones, there's a lot there, which is really cool. But we're going to take a look at that for some of the examples that are not the ones that are doing the penguins. And then for the lab, we're going to try one of the exercises. So you'll see each of these sections here has a bunch of different exercises you can try. So pick one of those and try it. See what you can do here when you graph some of this data that's not the example data, right? Try a little different thing with the exercise and see what you get here. So, hey, how about we make our scatter plot out of the highway data here, the MPG data here. Go for it and try it. So we're going to do that. And then for your reply to the classmate, the next week, right? Or, ideally earlier, but if you need a little more time, that's fine. Just graph it differently. Pick a different kind of graph, either do this idea with the facets here, or, oops, those links they just went right to exercises, didn't they? That's fine. That must not have copied, right? I'll update that. So this idea of using a facet, so instead of it all being on one graph here, we can put it on 3 different ones, right? We're saying, hey, wrap these across different islands. That's one option here. Or when we looked at our visualizing relationships, you could do box plots, you can do line graphs here, or you can do the filled ones. Show it a different way. That's sort of the idea here. We're just trying to exercise some of the different things we can do in ggplot, have a little bit of fun with it as we go. And then don't forget, Project 2 is due at the end of this week as well. So if you got questions, let me know. Always happy to chat. You can schedule some office hour appointments with me. Ping me on Discord, shoot me an email, text me, whatever you want to do. I'm here to help. All right. Let me know if you got any questions. I look forward to seeing what you have.